Hey everybody, so today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about my newfound appreciation for, more primitive, primitive civilizations or, even ancient civilizations. And the sense that I think nowadays, everybody basically just gets their water from a faucet, at least in America. You just get your water from a faucet, you turn it on, you have all you need. A lot of times in certain places you have to pay for it. If you're hooked up to city water or whatnot, you do have to pay for the water. But if you have a well in America, it literally just gets pumped out of the ground. You pay for the well, a one-time fee, and then you have water. Now, sometimes things do need to be fixed, but for the vast majority of time, you have no concerns over where your water is going to come from or how you're going to water your plants. Most places have sprinkler systems to keep their lawns nice and green and irrigation systems in their gardens and everything else. And we're going on 7 months in 2 days. Yeah, it'll be in 2 days and 7 months that we've been here on this property, and we've yet to have actual running water on this property. And it's by choice. It's not it's not like we can't get it. We can. We just haven't gotten to that point yet where we have felt the absolute need to have it. And it's one of those things where thinking about it, it's kind of interesting because I'm out here right now at the new pond that we had dug just a few months ago. And it's got probably about 5 feet or so of water in it. And I have been taking buckets because I planted our plants. That was yesterday's video. I planted a bunch of our fodder trees out here around the pond area, the new pond area. And it was one of those things thinking about it when my husband and I were talking about where to plant these plants. We have hybrid poplar, hybrid willow, we have weeping willow, we have crab apple, white mulberry, Hansen's bush cherry, and serviceberry that we have planted out here. We're also going to have elderberry planted out here as well too. I just hadn't gotten to that yet. But we basically planted all of them in a way that it was very easy to get to the pond. There's kind of like a little ramp area that we had dug to the pond to where we could easily walk down to it. And that's what I was doing just now, walking back and forth with buckets of water, watering the plants. And it's one of those things that I've always, since moving on this property, we've had a garden, and I literally watered my garden the same exact way. It was just a different pond that I was using because I set up our garden close enough to a pond where I could get water out of it when we needed it. And it's one of those things where I think nowadays, and I think people and I don't know about a lot of other countries to be completely honest, but definitely in America, we're very blessed to have very easy access to water. And I don't think it's something that we necessarily think about a lot. I know, at least for myself, it's not something that I thought a lot about when I was living in a regular house in suburbia and everything else. That it's really hard to get water in a lot of places. And I really have much more appreciation for even civilizations now that don't have easy access to running water. I know I said primitive or ancient because in my head I was thinking, from America perspective, it would have to be primitive or ancient because we don't really have that problem here now. Even homeless are able to get water. I mean, there's water fountains all over the place that even our homeless population can have access to water, for at least drinking anyways. And so it's one of those things that I really kind of wanted to share because it's something that is so vital to life. I mean, obviously people can only go 3 days without water. Plants, if you are doing any type of like agricultural setup, whether it's, an actual garden or trees or anything like that, there's a whole mess of things that you have to have easy access to water. And when it got really dry here in the summer, we only had one pond that did not dry up. We had all our creeks, all our other ponds. We had, at the time, 4 ponds, 3 creeks on our property. All but one pond dried up. Now we have 5 ponds, and we have the new pond that we just dug, and then we dug out one of the other ponds that are both much deeper now. And so I think we'll have 3 ponds completely filled, out of the 5 this coming summer. But it's one of those things where, when you're starting a homestead, especially when you're starting a homestead from nothing, if you don't have running water on it immediately, that's exactly what you have to do. You have to think about where you have water on your property and how you can access that water easily, and plant basically according to that. And it makes me definitely understand better like the Indians and other native cultures, even South American cultures, the Incans and things like that, the Mayans, and then, you know, other cultures across the world that you find that they had their civilizations literally focused around water. And it makes so much sense. I mean, it made sense to me even when I wasn't farming. You know, you have your stuff that you need to grow near water, but it makes even more sense now because you have to think about the thing of it drying, the water drying up too. I mean, even around here, the rivers are all down because we had a very dry summer, and we've definitely had I don't know in relation to normal falls, but we've definitely been getting plenty of rain here in the fall. But it's just something to think about, guys. If you're moving into a homestead situation where you're buying raw land, you have to think about what kind of situation your land is. If you're going to have immediate access to water, that's fantastic. You don't really have to think about that then. If there's already a well or a water hookup on the property, you're good. But if you're going to be pretty much off-grid for an extended period of time, you're going to have to think about how you are going to be able to get water. How are you going to be able to get water to, you know, wash dishes, take showers, just drink? And do you have any kind of filtration systems as well? You know, like we have a Berkey water filter. We also have a Berkey water bottle. And so whether we're drinking from a water bottle or drinking from the actual Berkey filter itself, we usually take the Berkey water bottle on hikes. You know, we have a way to filter our water. And I know there's a lot of places around the world that actually don't even have that even now. And so it's one of those things when you're on a homestead, or you're looking to buy property. That's one of the things that my husband and I absolutely wanted in our property was water. Whether it's creek or ponds, it really didn't matter to us. We just wanted water. And look at what happened. Even then, 3 creeks, 4 ponds, only 1 pond didn't dry up. And it's not really a pond that we were going to get water from, maybe to water the plants, but not to like drink or anything from, because they used to run cattle on this property, and the cows would go right into the water or poop in the water. Like, you can literally lose livestock from drinking water that cattle have gone through and pooped in a whole bunch. So you have to think about that too. Is the property that you bought, is the water basically septic? Like, is it nasty, like poop water? Like, you have to think about those things. And it's crazy that you kind of, I mean, it never really dawned on me how much you have to think about these things. But we truly have never used that one pond because it just looked nasty. And it was from just the cattle running through it all the time. And now it may now be more, you know, as it's been probably about a year since cattle's been on it. So it may be cleaned out better now, but it's still not a pond I necessarily want to pull water from to water my garden or anything like that, or even the plants I just planted. So that's why we use other ponds. But it's just something to think about, guys. And then for anybody who lives, you know, in suburbia or has no intentions of homesteading, just be thankful for your water. Be thankful for the ability to get water easily and efficiently and not have to go scrounge for it, or like we have to go to a campground, like if it's, you know, obviously very dry summer, our rain barrels did go dry, so we have a campground here that we've met basically the owners of, and they're good with us getting water from the campground, so we've created a really good relationship there. So that's how we've been able to fill a lot of our rain barrels over the course of the year that we are, you know, 7 months we've been here. But now that we're getting more rain, we're actually able to use more like rain catchment type ways to get water. But just think about that, guys. If you're going into a homestead situation or you're buying raw land, think about the water situation. That's one of the first things you're going to have on the property figured out, is how you're going to get water, whether it's for you and your family or for your livestock. Think about that. Think about the cost that goes into that, because it does cost a fair amount of money to run pipe and run water lines and everything else. And even just to put a spigot on your property, you know, like a frost-proof spigot, you're looking at, you know, $75 to $100, which really isn't that bad. But, you know, think about those things. Think about the cost of making sure that you have water on your property, and make sure you plan for that accordingly, because that's going to be one of the most important things that you're going to need on your property. is some sort of water source, especially if you're living on it. So just something to think about, guys. Like I said, be thankful for the ability to get water quickly. I don't mind lugging buckets of water around. Honestly, I really truly don't. It's actually very peaceful, and I get kind of workout in it as well. But it's still one of those things that really makes me appreciate what we had in suburbia and be thankful for the water we have on our property now and how God has provided for us in that way. And it's not like I'm like, oh, I can't wait to get water on our property. Like, I'm slowly looking forward to that. It's actually not that at all. Like, I don't care. Like, we could go as long as we have to without the, running water on property. But it's definitely something my husband and I are going to be putting into place here in the future, probably fairly soon, at least getting a spigot on the property. Because it would just be nice to not have to go to the campground if we need water. But just things to think about, guys. Think about your water situation. And for those of you who are just, living the life in suburbia, which is totally fine, be thankful for your water. Be thankful that it's so easy to get and it's clean and everything else. And just, be mindful of that. Don't ever take anything you have for granted. And while some of us, like myself and my husband, we choose this life that we have, we have clean drinking water and everything else, like I said, provided from the campground, and we have water for our plants, but there's people around this world who don't, and just, do what you can, with that, whatever is placed on your heart for that, but just be thankful for what you have, and be thankful for everything that you have in your life, and don't take anything for granted. But pretty excited, guys, though, overall, with getting the 20 trees planted that I did yesterday. Excited to get the rest of them planted. There's probably about another 20 more that I have to get planted, but it's good times here on the homestead. We're moving along, making progress. All right, hope you all have a great day. Bye.